times the time and getting that interest, and then adding it back to the principal. Today what we're going to do is we're going to compound that. So like if you had, like I said last time, if you had a savings account and you wanted to keep something in there and then they kept giving you interest over a period of time. So here's what happens. When it gets compounded, that means that they figure the interest more than once and then they add it to your principal, and so that your principal becomes new again, and so you have to figure it all over. Now in this one they use some very interesting language which makes it kind of hard for us to translate a little bit. So I'm going to walk you through how to do each one of these first 4 problems, okay? And then tomorrow we'll walk through the last 4 because they're just kind of tricky on how we do that. So they give us the basic information we need to know. And like I said before, you can use your calculator with this. As a matter of fact, Mr. Lindblad's going to pull his calculator. Okay, so let's look at number 1. Written exercises, it says $6,400. And we multiply that times the rate, which they say is 5%, which I'm going to change to a decimal, moving the decimal to the left twice. So that becomes 0.05. Then they say for 2 years. Okay, so that's the simple interest formula right there. So we go this times this times this gives me a new principal, or an interest. Okay? Then what we do, whatever this interest is, all right, we're going to add it back to the principal. Okay, we're going to walk through this. I'm actually going to do this one with you. Well, this one's easy. Okay, this one was only compounded annually, which means every year. Annual means once a year. So this one's pretty simple. You just take this one, multiply all 3 of these, and then add 6,400 to it, and that would give you your answer. That's the end of that one. Okay? So, we don't have to do any more on that one. Okay, that's it. There's how you set up number 1. This times this times this, that answer plus 6,400 gives you the new answer. Okay. Let's look at the next one though. We have the principal of $500, and it's at 8% interest, which changes to 0.08, and then we multiply that times 1 year. Okay? Now, here's the thing. It says it's compounded semi-annually, which means we're going to do this twice. All right? Going to do the same thing twice. So, basically, you instead of doing it for 1 year, semi-annually means that we're going to do it twice. So we do the first part for half a year, which is actually 0.5. Okay? So, I know that sounds weird. Half a year, 0.5, semi-annually. We kind of had a little thing up there on the last one where 1/2 equals 0.5, 1/4 equals 0.25. That'd be a quarterly. And then 3/4 would be 0.75. Okay? Fortunately, we don't have any 0.25s or whatever. Okay? The key is we've got to watch out how long our length is and how many times it's compounded. Semi-annually means that it happens twice in 1 year. So that's why we're going to do this whole system twice. So first of all, we take 500 times 0.08 times 0.5. So I'm going to do that. 500 times 0.08 times 0.5. Okay? When I did that, I got the answer of $20. And so my first step then is to bring my principal back here and add 500 plus $20. So my new principal becomes 520. And we do this all again. Times 0.08 times 0.5. It gives me an interest, and then I'm going to add it back to my new principal gets added to the answer. Okay, so now I've got 520 times 0.08 times 0.5 gives me $20.80. So when I add that together, I get $540.80. Okay, that's how we get the answer to number 2. All right, so there's number 2's answer right there. When we do it semi-annually, let me talk about this again. Semi-annually, and you're only going for 1 year, that means that you get to go do the interest on that money twice. You have to do it twice. So you have to compound it by adding the interest you earned for the first half of the year, and then refigure it for that amount, and then add the interest on the second half of the year. Okay, it's nice when it has compounded semi-annually or more, because you're making more money on your investment.
Grace Raymond, please come to the office. Grace Raymond, please come to the office.
Okay, we're having announcements for some reason today. All right, moving on to number 3. This one, the principal is $1,500 times our percent on this one is 8 again, so that becomes 0.08. And then the number of years we have on number 3 is 6 months. Okay, so 6 months, and it's compounded quarterly. Okay, so a quarterly compound would be 0.25. And 6 months means for every quarter of a year, that's worth 3 months. You remember that? 1/4 equals 3 months equals 0.25. Okay, so if we're going to go for 6 months, we're going to do this round twice. So you do this, add 1,500 to it, then that answer right there becomes the new one, and then you got to multiply it by 0.08 and by 0.25 again. So this answer goes right over here. Once you figure this answer goes right over here. Then you take that, and then you're going to add whatever this answer was to this answer. And that will give us our final answer right there. Okay? Multiply these, add this, take that answer and move it over here, and multiply these again, and then you add this answer down here to this. That'll give you your answer for number 3. I'm not gonna do it for you. You gotta do it. You got your calculator there. Go for it.